guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Mackenzie. I am a collegiate track and field athlete, and today's video is going to be advice on how to bounce back after maybe a bad season. This could even be a bad race, bad game, whatever it may be. How to bounce back after things don't go the way you expected. I thought this would be a good time to post this video, especially for my following mainly being track and field athletes. Maybe you are transitioning out of your indoor track season into outdoor season, and you didn't have the best indoor season and you want to figure out how to reframe and prepare to have a better outdoor season. Or maybe you're going into your next season and it's been a few months or a year since your last season and you didn't like how that one went. Make sure this season goes better. That's what this video is going to be about. Having a bad competition, a bad season, it happens. It's part of being an athlete. It's important to not dwell on that and just figure out how we are going to move on from it and be better the next time that we compete. For me personally, last year my outdoor track season did not go at all the way that I wanted it to. So many things went wrong. And this year, as I am heading into my outdoor track season of senior year, I'm not at all trying to repeat what happened last year, leaving that in the past and picking up better habits and better ideas to improve this next season. So I'm gonna take you guys through kind of like a step-by-step of you just had a bad season, bad game, what do we do from here? So the first thing you have to do is evaluate what went wrong. Why didn't you perform your best? This could be a lot of different things. It might be more than one thing for you. It's important to sit down and really think, okay, why did things not go according to plan? Some possible explanations could be not taking recovery seriously, maybe not giving your full effort in practice and training, poor mindset in competition or lack of confidence, poor nutrition habits or hydration. Maybe you're not doing the best workouts for you and the athlete that you are. These are just a couple different ideas that could be a reason for why your season didn't go the way that you wanted it to. Maybe none of those are what happened for you, but it's important that you take the time to really reflect on your season, on your competition, and think what went wrong. After you've established exactly why things didn't go according to plan, it's important to make a plan. How are we going to ensure that what happened last season or last game doesn't happen again? What steps can I take to improve? For example, if you're not taking recovery seriously, maybe if you have a resource of an athletic trainer, reaching out to them, asking more questions, just trying to stretch more every day, trying to roll out more every day, commit to go see the athletic trainer more times than you did last season. Maybe lack of confidence is what held you back last season, and that is a big one for a lot of people, including myself. Last outdoor season, anxiety and shaky confidence was really a snowball effect for a lot of other problems for me. If that sounds like you, that's something that we have to tackle, because you can only perform your best physically if you're mentally in check. So take steps to start building your confidence. Maybe that is journaling, daily affirmations, reaching out to a sports psychologist or just general therapist. Confidence can be difficult, but that's something that you have to practice, just like you practice your sport, building up that mindset so that you are ready for competition and your next season. And those are just a couple examples of different scenarios and how you can plan accordingly so that your upcoming season goes better. Now that we have established exactly what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how to improve and the steps to take, our next step is to forget about what happened last season. My coaches always say that you have to have a short-term memory as an athlete, and it is so true. If you keep beating yourself up about what happened last season that went poorly, or a bad game you had, whatever it may be, then you're not focused on the present and what you can do to be the best athlete in that moment. I had a terrible year last year, and I could sit here and think about that every day. It would be easy to, but I won't let myself do that because that would affect the athlete that I am in this present moment, and I don't want that to happen. It's okay to grieve your season, grieve a bad game, then you have to get over that. You have to establish what went wrong, how to improve, and come up with a plan. And once that happens, we have to let it go. And that can be easier said than done, but there's no way that you can progress and fully move on and become a better athlete if you are constantly thinking about the mistakes you made or what went wrong before. Next, I have a few different things that I just think is important to consider. This first one is so important. You need to remember that a bad season or a bad game, competition, race does not make you a bad athlete. Once again, you have to have a short-term memory. What happened happened, but how are we gonna build? How are we gonna improve? And the same goes if you have a bad practice, that doesn't make you a bad athlete. For me, last season, I mean, I was not good. I was not at all where I was expecting myself to be. And then once I started getting into practice, my practices weren't good. But that did not make me a bad athlete. That's just where I was on my journey as an athlete at that point in time. And I have to have respect for that. So after things go wrong, you have to be self-aware to recognize that there can be improvement, but also self-compassionate enough to not beat yourself up about it. There's a balance between that. You can't have all one or all of the other. If we're only ever self-aware to the point of recognizing every single flaw, that's gonna hurt you. And then if you're only ever self-compassionate and never fully challenging yourself and thinking about where you can improve, then you're not gonna progress as an athlete also. So it's so important to have that balance in order to progress and become the best athlete that you want to be. The next thing to consider is if you don't figure out what needs to change and how you're going to change it, you're gonna have a repeat of the season or game that you didn't like, and you're gonna feel the same way, frustrated, upset, sad. Don't let that happen. After a bad competition, don't just sit there and think that was horrible, this is ridiculous, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I'm a bad athlete. No, think what went wrong and what can I do to improve off of this? And once you do that, make actual change. If you don't acknowledge what went wrong and how you're gonna fix it, you're not gonna elevate yourself as an athlete, and you're gonna be stuck in that rut, in that same spot, not seeing progression, and you're gonna be frustrated with yourself. So really just try to embrace change and a new mindset when you recognize that something's not working. Another important thing to remember, similar to not harping on a past season, is to not worry about the future. You need to be present as an athlete, present in the current race you are running, game you are playing, not thinking about college recruiting or the championship game or meet, or even the next race that you have that day while you are preparing for your current one. In order to execute the current moment that you are in as an athlete, you have to be fully present. And if your mind is elsewhere, whether that is, oh, I messed this up last year, or if I want to be great come a couple games from now, I need to do this right, that's gonna mess up exactly where you are. So really try to take everything one step at a time, one moment at a time. You need to give yourself the opportunity to perform well. And if you are constantly thinking about other things, then you're not allowing yourself to take advantage of that full opportunity. So that I really want to emphasize is, don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future. You can only control what is going on right now. So try to be your best self right now. And the last thing that I want to say, really, at least for me, has been the biggest game changer, and that is just establishing gratitude for every competition that you have had and will have. For me, over the past year, I've dealt with so much adversity, and the biggest thing that has kept me going is my kind of new mindset that I've developed, trying to look at everything from a everything happens for a reason lens, and I'm a firm believer in that, especially now. For me, really leaning into that and gratitude and my faith has helped me become a more in tune athlete, I would say, all around. So really be grateful for every opportunity that you are given as an athlete, whether it is the good competitions that bring you so much joy, or the bad competitions, which is the harder part. But those bad competitions, they teach you lessons. They grow your character. They make your thin skin. They make your skin thicker. I don't know why I couldn't say that. There is a reason behind every competition, race, season that you have. There's a lesson to be learned in it. And I think it's important to just, after every competition, be grateful that you are able to compete. Because maybe if you have had an injury or some medical issue before that left you not able to compete, you know how much it hurts not being able to compete. That for me has been the biggest thing. So one, be grateful that you're able to compete. Be grateful for the position you're in. If you are a collegiate athlete, that is amazing that you've gotten here. If you run a PR, your team wins, whatever, find something to be grateful for in every encounter that you have as an athlete. This past indoor season, it was really just about progressing from the beginning to the end for me. It could have been so easy for me to look at the times that I ran and just be mad and just think, screw this, I'm not a good athlete anymore, whatever. But that's not the lens that I chose to view this season. I chose to look at every little ounce of possible progression and lessons to be learned in every race that I had. I had a race, the time wasn't good, but I had a good last 200. There you go, win. And I'm grateful for those experiences. So just be grateful for the current season that you're in. And I don't even mean like athletic season. I mean season of life, season of growth that you're currently experiencing. Have some gratitude for that because there's a reason for it. Being grateful, I think, allows you to look at every win and every loss in a very different light. So really try to practice that more in this next season. And I think that alone, even if you don't PR by 5 seconds or your team doesn't make the state final or whatever it may be, being able to establish gratitude firmly in your practices as an athlete will just make for a better season in ways that you might have not even considered before. And that's all the things to consider that I wrote down. This was a pretty random video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I talk a lot about topics similar to this over on my podcast at Athlete to Athlete. If you aren't tuning into those episodes, be sure to do that because I'm really excited about that project, and I've had so many great guests on there so far. And you know, track meet vlogs and day in the lives are really cool, but I think learning from others and being able to connect and relate to different athletes is such a cool thing to be able to experience, and I'm trying to do that for you guys. So definitely tune into those episodes if you haven't already. If you want me to make a more in-depth video on some of the topics that we talked about today, like maybe confidence or gratitude, things like that, I can definitely make a longer, more in-depth video over on the podcast. So let me know your thoughts on that. But thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to do that and stay tuned for next week's video. Bye, thank you guys.